up? What's up, everybody? If you can hear my voice, this is Doc Val coming to you live wherever you're getting your listening and your viewing pleasures only on Brown Sugar Confessions. If you haven't done so by now, you know the drill. Go to YouTube, go to Facebook, go to Instagram, go to TikTok, go to all those social media outlets. Make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe, and you do not ever miss an episode of Brown Sugar Confessions. And look, before we even get into tonight's show, I want you to do me one favor, guys, that's listening out there. Go get your girlfriend, because this show is going to be so hot. I have been after this young lady for a minute. I'm on the West Coast. I finally got her on the show. And tonight we're going to talk to Tiffany as we talk about being a prison wife. Now, this show is going to be, what's the word I want to use? Raw and uncensored as much as we can for the radio. But before we get into the show details, I know you're going to have questions, right? And she's going to be totally honest. She being Tiffany, totally upfront, totally honest. Make sure that you send all of your questions, because Katie's going to be monitoring it, to brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. We're going to answer your questions live with Tiffany as we talk about tonight's show, which is Prison Wives. I'm not going to waste a lot of time talking a bunch of BS. Let's bring up Katie, and then we're going to go into tonight's topic. So, Katie, love, how are you?
Absolutely fabulous. And I am so ecstatic about today's show because I got questions. I'm ready. So I'm ready to get into it. On a personal note, things are great here. As you all know, we have to give the weather because I have to do it just because.
No, you don't. You don't have to give the weather report.
I have to do it in honor of Miss T. So it has been very beautiful. So I swear to goodness, as soon as it got to September, all of a sudden it was just like light fall. Not like fall. It's not crisp in the air, but it's not hot anymore. And I'm absolutely loving it, which is why I kind of got my hair out nice and,
working.
Yeah, so the weather permits it, because I don't know, for those who don't know a whole lot about, one, if you're not watching on YouTube, I have my hair today out in a little bit of a fro, but it's a blowout fro. So what that means is that a little bit of heat and this would just turn into a nightmare. So the weather is nice enough to allow me to let my hair just kind of blow in the wind the way I like it to. So it's really good. Otherwise, I'm ready to get this show on the road. What about you, Doc Bob? We need to know what's going on with you.
Girl, that's another episode. He's laughing. That is an episode actually going to come up next week where we're going to do another live interview. But I am on the West Coast. I'm in California. I've been here now for about a week. I guess it is a week and a half. And the weather is incredible. I don't care what people say about California. The people are so nice here. I think they're nicer than Delaware. I'm like in the street, how are you? Nice to meet you. Just really super kind people. And it's people that still have Black Lives Matter signs. There's people that have signs that says, I believe in Black lives. No one is illegal. There's all kinds of signs in people's yards here, which I found kind of interesting coming from Delaware. Like, we're not having all of that going on. But yeah, California is definitely quite progressive. I will be here probably for another couple of weeks before I head back to the East Coast. But I'm actually having a great time recording and working. Make sure that you guys right now go on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all those places. Look up Brown Sugar Confessions and get tonight's show. And as always, if you're having any questions or any problems in your relationship or intimacy concerns, make sure you email me, and I'm going to go nice and slow. It's Valerie@SwanCenter, that's with 2Ns.com. I will answer your questions and get back to you so that you can have the absolute best authentic love and relationship and intimacy that you desire. But enough of all of that. Let's jump into tonight's show. And I want to put out a couple of disclaimers before I start. First of all, this young lady that I'm interviewing tonight, we've chosen not to put her on camera. It is a choice that protects her and her partner, who is incarcerated, and it will allow her to just speak freely. And again, if you want to go and send the questions in, make sure you go to brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. So that's the first thing. So you're going to see me looking like I'm talking to myself. I'm really not. She's right here in the corner next to me, but I'm going to keep her out of camera view. But other than that, Tiffany is going to get into what it's like to be a prison wife, give you all the do's and don'ts, talk about the community, maybe a prison wife and what that looks like. And she says, really nothing is off the limit. So let's just jump into tonight's show. So Tiffany,
Hello.
welcome to Brown Sugar Confessions.
Thank you for having me.
I have been after you for like 5 months.
Hey.
Are you nervous?
A little bit.
A little bit. So here's it's going to be, right? We're just going to have a conversation,
Okay.
right? And you share as much as you, or as little as you want, about what it means to have a partner that's incarcerated.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough?
Fair enough.
All right. And again, you can't see her, but she's got the bust down, like the hair. She's stunning, by the way. Absolutely stunning. Too bad y'all aren't here next to me looking at her beautiful face, because she is beautiful. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
It's Tiffany. I'm 42.
42.
Yeah.
Don't look it. Okay.
Yeah. I have one kid and a grandchild.
Uh-huh. And are you married or is Carla? Married. Okay. All right. So let's just jump into like the topic of tonight. Okay. So you're married. How long you been married?
It'll be 3 years in December.
Okay, 3 years in December.
So I
Okay.
got married during COVID.
We're COVID. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did you meet your husband when prior to him going to jail, or did you meet him in jail?
Before he went to jail.
Before he went to jail. Okay. So I want to ask a question, the most obvious thing I can think of. How many years you been married? 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what did he go to jail for?
Bank robbery.
Bank robbery. Okay. And how long was his sentence?
17 years.
17. Okay. So first offense?
No.
Okay. All right. And when you were dating him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you realized that he had one offense. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Was the offense, did it give him jail time, or was it probation, or it was a minor offense?
He was in and out of jail since a kid, so
He's been in and out of the system. Okay. All right. And so you knew about his history.
I didn't know. Well, I met him over 18 years ago, so I didn't know that he had been back and forth to jail. So when I met him, we kind of like were dating for like 4 or 5 months, and then he went back to jail. So over the last, he's been in there, 12 years now?
Uh-huh.
So over the last 12 years, we've been together, and I've left him a few times.
You have left him a few times.
Yeah.
So he's been in jail for 12 years.
Yeah.
And you've been married to him for 3 years. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So we kind of like got back together, and we were like, okay, we're gonna have to get married, because how am I gonna get in there?
Okay. All right. So, so how am I going to get in there? Yeah, that's what you were thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So he's been in for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You've been married for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when he asked you, when he first went back to prison,
Mm-hmm.
what was your thought process? Was it like, what the heck? And are you a ride and die kind of girls? Like,
No, I was like, I'm young. Like, I need to live my life. Like,
right.
I don't want to be. This is the first person that I ever dealt with, like, in prison.
Mm-hmm.
So I had never been to a prison before. So this was like my first time doing this. So I was just like, I'm young. I need to live life.
Mhm.
So when I left him a few times, it was because I was like, trying to find myself
Right.
as a young mother. So
Hmm.
we kind of like broke up, but we always stayed in contact.
Okay.
But then finally, like what? It's been almost 6 years since we've been back together.
Okay.
So when we got back together, I was just like, okay, I feel like you're my person,
Hmm.
but the one thing is like, you're not free.
Yeah.
So that's basically what it was.
Yeah. So, you mentioned you're not free. How does that impact you? Your husband can't lay next to you at night. He can't have those general conversations. He can't, fix things around the house. How does that really impact you?
It's a lot. It's lonely. You get lonely sometimes.
Hmm.
And it's kind of hard to deal with, but you got to focus on like, this is not going to be forever.
Right.
So when you got to have a lot of faith because I don't know if you know, but like some prison situations don't go as planned,
Okay.
you know?
No, I don't. So talk about that. What do you mean they don't go as planned?
I mean, like, I feel like men have good intentions when they're in jail, but when they get out and life is life in,
Hmm.
they're all over the place and they do all kind of messed up things to the person that was holding them down?
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
So, like, I tell them all the time, like, I'm putting my faith that you're going to get out and be the man that you say you are,
Hmm.
but a little bit of me is also like, it could go either or.
Right. Okay. So are you putting, and this might be a harsh question, are you putting 100% of yourself into this, or do you find yourself holding back because that question is like, I'm not sure when you get out how it's going to be?
I feel on some things I like hold back because I know a lot of women that have husbands that are in prison and their whole life is prison.
Hmm.
Like, I don't want to have my whole life prison, you know?
Hmm.
I want to be there every weekend. These visits are long.
Okay. I want to go into the visits, so, and before we go into the visits, so I want to go back to the trial, okay? Because this is something that doesn't get asked about the family. Okay. So you're at the trial?
I didn't go to trial.
You didn't go to trial?
No,
Okay. The sentencing?
nothing.
Nothing. You didn't do any of that. Okay.
No.
So when that's right, because he was in before you were there. Okay.
Yeah.
So you reconnect, you meet him. Let me go back. You reconnect with him, and you find out he's back in jail, and not even jail, but prison. There's a difference between the two, right? Jail and prison.
County.
County.
The county or prison. So county is behind the glass visits. Prison is like me and you sitting like this,
Hmm.
and we get to kiss at the beginning. You get to hug at the beginning, and then you sit there for, it could be 6 hours.
Really?
You sit there, and then after, when the visit is over, you get one more kiss, and then you're gone.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to what's it so you said you had never dealt with anyone in prison before. This was a whole new experience for you.
Yeah.
So when you go to the prison, what's your first thought? Do you remember, like, what were you thinking when you first went through that door or you approached it? Like, was it like, what the heck have I done? Like, really? What was your thought process?
No, I pretty much knew what I was doing,
Hmm.
but my thought process was, am I going to get in with these clothes on?
Oh, okay. So what were you wearing to make yourself think that?
Um, my jeans were a little tight. Well, I had white pants on. They were like jeans, but no, you can't have anything like tight fitting. So at first they were like, oh, they asked a couple of like sergeants, like, oh, is it okay for her to get in with this on? And I'm standing there like, oh God, I got to go back to the car or go to friends outside where they give you some extra clothing.
Wait a minute. Wait, stop. So are you given a list of things that you can and can't wear and do before you get there?
Yes, on the website. You can look on there and they'll tell you you can't wear this color. Like, you can't wear jean and you can't wear like tight fitting clothes, and you can't wear like leggings or anything like that.
So what can you wear?
So
That's
you
my
can wear
entire
like a,
wardrobe.
yeah, I have ice too. So I have a large selection of like sweatsuits now.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Sweatsuit.
be gray.
It can't be gray.
But they're not coming in gray. So I don't understand why you can't wear gray. Like they're coming in like fake jean and like a blue top. So I don't know why you can't wear gray.
Okay. So you can't wear gray.
No.
So right now your sexy wardrobe consists of sweats.
Yeah, and if you feel like I feel like if you feel like you're too cute, they'll say go to Friends Outside or go back to find something else. Or you go to Walmart or Target, whatever's closer in the area, and go get something else.
Okay. So here okay. Go ahead.
And no wire bra.
No what?
No bra with a wire.
Why is that?
Because it sounds off the metal detectors. So you'll have somebody there going through the metal detectors. Like I've seen a lady go through 20 times and she never got through. And she went in the bathroom and like cut the bra up and had to like tie it and cut like the little, like the little stuff in the back of the bra, the hooks in the back.
Yeah.
So because it just kept going off.
Wow. So no wire bras. And you're a girl.
Or I had to go find the right one to get me in there because I was like, oh, this is a no. Like, I don't even wear a sports bra. Like, I have to order these bras. So I was just like, oh, this is horrible.
Like, what size are you?
I would say like a G. So
Yeah, she's like, I mean,
Wow.
I'm a big girl, but you make mine look itty bitty.
Oh, yeah. So imagine trying to get in this bra to like hold you up to where you're feeling like your normal bra. Like I had to search around. So I wear the same one every time because I know that it won't set off.
Okay. So when you get in there, do you have to go? So you're going through so tell me, go through the procedure of like when you go in, what do they do to let you go in the door to see your husband?
So first of all, you have to make an appointment.
Online?
Yeah. So if you don't get an appointment, you can do like a walk-in.
Mm-hmm.
But you check in, you're there. So the visiting starts at about 10 or 11. So you have to get there at like 9 or something. And they check you in when you put your car in. You open your trunk.
Mm-hmm.
They check your trunk to see if anything's in the trunk. And then they let you into the parking lot. So, and they give you a paper so you can write the inmate's name, your name, and your identification number.
Mm-hmm.
And then so when you get out the car, they lay you in, after they check your car, you go into a office where it's like some chairs and you sit around and wait for them you give them the slip and they check your name and see if you're approved because you have to get approved for this visit.
So who approves you? The state does?
State does. So the county, you can just go and visit.
Okay.
But the state, you have to be approved. So if you don't have a driver's license, if you have a background, you might be denied.
Aha, okay.
So they go in and they check you in and then they say, have a seat. So then it's like about 30 people in there and you're just waiting for your name to be called. And when they call your name, you take your shoes off. You can't wear a belt. So you don't, if you have a belt, you have to take it off and put it through the metal detectors. I thought that they would be like, the hair weave, because they have something on the website where it says something about hair weave, but they're pretty fine with that. So you go through the metal detectors and then you wait in a gate. And then when like 10 people get in the gate,
Mm-hmm.
they finally open the gate up.
Okay.
And then there's like officers in the towers watching you as you go to whatever visiting room you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get in there, you do another check-in. And they take your identification card. And then you go into the visiting room. And then you just wait for the inmate to come out.
Okay. All righty. So is he in maximum security prison?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All righty. So you're in there and you see on TV, at least I've seen the TV shows where they frisk the wives or partners. Do they really do that to let you in sometimes?
Sometimes. Or they'll just put you through the metal detector, and if you beep, you got to go figure it out. But that the parking lot is so far away from the actual office where you're going to get the visit. So you can be walking back and forth there like 10 or 20 times.
Wow.
Or you just go to the store and just fix it. Or you go to friends outside where they have clothes that they'll give you, but then you're coming back looking a whole hot mess because it's not something that you would want to wear.
Oh,
yeah. It's a disaster.
It's a disaster.
Yeah.
All right. So sometimes they frisk you, sometimes they don't. Most of the time. Okay. So you're going through this long metal detector. And when you go in there, and I heard you say that you kiss when you first get in.
They'll let you kiss how you want. But if it's too long, they'll be like, okay, enough, Because there's guards watching you the whole time. When they bring them out, there's like a set of guards that are on the watch,
right,
for like, all kind of things that go down.
Okay. All righty. So I want to get into like what goes down. We haven't even gotten to the second segment yet. This is like, I'm just warming up. KD girl, if you got some questions, chime on in here because I'm just like, I'm loving where we're going with this. So he comes in and you kiss.
Hug, you kiss.
Hug and kiss. Okay. Now, your husband's how old?
40.
Grown man, grown woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does your hand start to roam? Does his hand start to roam and they stop it?
No, if you roam, your visit is cut. So you have to know that you're going in for that kiss, your hand is not moving, and sit down after.
Wow.
Oh, wow. So, and if you step out of bounds, then he sent back.
It can be terminated.
Okay. All right. So I have a crazy question for you because I watch too many cops shows, right, or whatever. So, and this is me wanting to know, do you know of instances where partners have bribed a guard or given guard, I call it monopoly money, and say, hey, can I, my hands are going to roam. I want to take her to the back. Does that happen?
I've heard that it has happened in some prisons where you can like go into a room and make it happen and then come back out. Because you got to think like depending on how long you've been in there, it's not going to take long.
Right. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that does definitely happen from time to time.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I hear the word conjugal visit.
Mm-hmm.
That means that they can have sex on premises, right? In a room someplace.
Oh, yeah. It's so we're there 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And
what do you mean you're there? What do you mean you're in the prison for 48 hours with him?
I'm sleeping there for 48 hours.
Oh.
So I'm checking in now with a big bag of stuff to go in and sleep there. So it's like a 2-bedroom apartment on the premises, and they have like 12 of them. So they do like 12 a month, to where if you're married, you're going in, you're locked in there for 48 hours. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow. All right. So look, I know we've got to go to a break because we're about to go deep because we just started to go into the juicy part. So KD, take us to break because I don't even want to stop here because this got real good all of a sudden, but we got to pay some bills. So take us to break, girl. But yeah.
All right. Well, obviously you need to go ahead, grab your snacks, grab your drinks. We will be back in just a few moments here on Brown Sugar Confessions. We're going to return and finish speaking to our prison wife. Is that what we would say? We're going to come back. Make sure you tune in.
All righty.
Welcome back to Brown Sugar Confessions. I hope you guys are nice and watered got your refreshments and all the things that you need, because we are about to get back into this. And I promise you, you do not want to have to get up at all. You don't want to miss a thing. So before we get back into it, we just have a few things. Make sure you like, share, and follow us on all of our social media platforms. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We are on YouTube, all as Brown Sugar Confessions. And the wonderful thing about YouTube is that you can watch us live and in the flesh. We are going to be going live on our YouTube here in the next coming weeks. So you'll be able to see us as it's happening. You'll be able to message us. We can read your comments on air. So don't miss it. Make sure you follow our page and you'll be able to get those notifications. You'll know when we go live, but you cannot do that if you don't follow us. So make sure you do that. Additionally, if you don't have an opportunity to watch us live, but you have a question that you would like to be read on the air, make sure you send us an email at brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. Additionally, if you have a question directly for Doc Val, perhaps you would like to have her come give you some counseling, maybe you need couples therapy, whatever it may be. If you want any assistance from her, you can reach her directly at Dr. Valerie, at Swan Center. That's SWANN Center.com. So we're going to go ahead, get back into it. I have a question. So
Okay, let's hear it.
I need Tiffany. So we are speaking with Tiffany,
Mhm.
and Tiffany just said something that I kind of need her to back up a little bit on. So I
Okay.
just heard her say that she stays for 2 days.
Yes.
2
How
days.
is that? Yeah, okay.
How often?
Every 90 days.
Every 90 days.
9 days. So does every wife that gets approved get that option of every 90 days to sleep with their partner?
Yes. If you're married to someone who doesn't have like, it's a certain kind of crime that you can't have to get these visits. Whatever you did, it can't involve kids, because you can bring kids there and everything. Like, you can bring your whole family.
Okay.
Like, you can bring your mom, your dad, your sisters. Like, you can have up to like 6, 7 people come.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And stay in this 2-room apartment.
Mhm.
I had no idea they had apartments for you.
No, they're 2-bedroom apartments.
And
Wow.
when in these apartments, is there a stove? Are you cooking? Do you have
Yes, you order. So you can cook whatever they have on the fresh food menu. So like sometimes I make a little bit of everything though. Like, you can get pretty much, so they have like these people that go and get the fresh food the day before you come in. So you can get chicken, steak, because he's not eating any of that in there. So he's basically getting stuff that he hasn't eaten in months, years,
Right.
you know. So bacon, eggs, you can make anything you can think of.
So you're getting the food from the prison, from the fresh food side.
Yeah, so basically they have when you're in the regular visits, they have like the vending machines.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll go and get like candy, sodas, waters, and then they'll have like some food like chicken strips where you can get from like Walmart, or French fries, pizza in the vending machine, and you can use the microwave in the regular visit. But those same people, they do the packagings for the family visits. So they have a list of things like if I want to make lasagna, they'll have everything for lasagna, but you can't use canned goods. So you'll have to find like, I think I made lasagna and they were able to get the sauce in the plastic, like the Prego in the plastic container. But pretty much anything that you can think of. Like one family, they made like Thanksgiving dinner one time when they came in.
Wow.
So they gave them Thanksgiving a little bit early.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically you have a 2-bedroom apartment for those every 90 days.
Yeah.
So you get to spend the night with him.
Yeah. And you get to bring when inside they have beds in each room.
Mm-hmm.
They have the couch, one TV, and then they give you a selection of like DVDs that they have.
So are the DVDs, are they adult DVDs?
Yeah, but they're kind of like boring, you know?
Okay. All
But
right.
you're not really
So
watching.
it's not like porn, or it is porn.
No, you
That's not porn. Okay.
can't get that.
Okay.
So they give you the DVDs, and then sometimes they have like Xbox in there, PlayStation. So, and then there's a kitchen, a full kitchen, refrigerator, everything. It's like a 2-bedroom.
I know.
Bathtub, shower, but it's real like you gotta love your man to go in there, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So how was it for you? Now I heard you say also, I think Katie said, come on back to the show to talk about prison wives. Is that what you guys, that's horrible. But the community of partners that have their significant other in jail, prison, what do you call yourself? And is there a community that you guys build?
There is, but there isn't because it gets a little messy, you know?
No, I don't. So what do you mean?
It's like, some men are all over the place in prison. Like, they're not more faithful, some aren't.
Right.
So it gets a little messy because you're befriending this one lady, and then next week there's a whole nother woman in the visiting room with this man,
Okay, yeah.
It can get a little messy. So for me, I kind of like stick to myself, I don't want to deal with anybody, but there is a community like the PWs.
So they're called PWs. PWs, prison wide. All right, that's kind of all right. That makes sense. So, okay, you've got him in there, and can you bring sex toys in?
No, you can't bring sex toys.
Okay.
So when you go in, you can bring bedding, so you can bring a fitted sheet, a flat sheet, and 2 pillowcases and a blanket. And then you can bring your own lotions. So you bring a set of towels and just you can bring like lingerie though.
You can bring your lingerie in.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can bring the lingerie. You can bring whatever you're going to wear for those 2 days. Like if you wake up in the morning and you want to change into something else, you can bring all that. But no sex toys or anything like that. No.
Okay. So here this man, like this is your husband. You haven't had him for 90 days. Isn't just straight up, I'm going to bang your brains out for 48 hours. That's what I really want to know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
So he'll already be in there when I get there.
He'll be in, in the room. In the 2-bedroom.
In the 2-bedroom. He'll be in there. And like soon as you come in, now that we've had him a few times, it's a little bit less like soon as I get in, but like first time it was like, oh, let's just get to it right now.
It's not even planned.
Yeah, no plan.
Do they supply you condoms?
No, you have to come in with those. So everything has to be closed. So if you're using, you have to put it into the travel size in front of them and when you check in. So they're going through all of your stuff, pulling it out, looking at it before you get in. So if you have some stuff like your lingerie, everybody that's coming in for that visit is going to see what you had in there because they're pulling out one thing one by one. And so if you have lotion, you have to pour it in front of them. If you have tampons, pads, they have to be sealed and they have to open them. Because before one time it was a lady and she had everything out. And they were like, no, you got to go back to the store because it can't be open. Yeah.
Why is that? Just in case you're putting something in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So, so how does that make you feel like when you're going through this process and you've got your lingerie, you've got all this stuff, how does it impact on you as the wife, letting people go through your personal stuff?
It was uncomfortable at first because like I said, I never had done it before. So I'm like, I didn't know that they were going to pull everything out, so it's a little embarrassing at times, but it's prison. So you want to get in. So you got to do what they say.
You got to do what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all right. So now you're in this room, you guys are just full on having sex. And what was one of your biggest fears being a prison wife? And let me rephrase the question and then put a couple of questions in there. Were you worried about him being faithful, like bringing other men and or women? Because you hear the stories about, men going to other men for sex while they're in prison. You hear about rapes. Was that something you talked to him about? Did you go into that conversation? Was that a fear of yours?
It wasn't a fear because I feel like I know that, like, I've asked him those questions though for sure.
Right.
And he's like, "Oh, don't even try me like that," you know?
Okay.
Like, that's not what it is. And you would, because we started with like phone sex.
But you had phones. You had phones in prison.
No, but when like he's doing the talking and I'm doing the pleasing myself. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
So they, but they do have phones in prison.
It's phones are contraband.
Yeah.
How do they get them in? Do women smuggle stuff inside themselves?
I don't think they're smuggling the phones.
Oh, that's kind of a big phone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Somebody else is getting that.
Someone getting those phones in there. Okay. All right. So there's a whole system though that they bring contraband in. I hear. I don't know. Okay. There's a whole system. All right.
Be in like the visiting room and they'll like come in 20 deep and hem somebody up, a woman up, like, and you'll be like, what is going on? Like,
Well, explain that for those that don't know what you mean by hem a woman deep. What do you mean by that?
so you need to get up and you need to come with us because so the people are watching you in front of you, but there's cameras everywhere watching you too. So if you might try to, slide something or something, and they're on it.
They're on it. Okay. Yeah. And I think I asked you this, but and you were honest in the answer that sometimes the guards are given a little bit of extra to let a few things pass. Is that true?
I've heard that. I've never actually seen it.
Okay.
I've never actually seen it though, but I've heard that that's happened because you'll have like a woman pregnant and you're like, well, how'd she get pregnant?
Not in her 90 days?
No, I don't even think she probably had a conjugal visit.
Okay, so you're wondering how that happened.
Yeah, like whose baby is that?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on here? She's 6 months pregnant.
So we're talking girlfriends, not like wives.
Yeah. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you had, and make sure guys, if you're listening, send in your questions to brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com because this conversation is like so real because it's real life that, women love their partners while they're in prison and you're holding it down for him, for your family. Is there resentment sometimes for you?
Sometimes, like, we might have like a little argument, and I'm like, my whole life is on hold, like people, I want to travel and, go on dates and do things, and it's like on hold. So that's when it goes back to, I'm trusting that you'll be the man that you say you're going to be when you get out of there, That's it's daily through my mind.
It's daily through you. And when you're having these conversations with him, when he went in, was there a conversation where he said, look, I'm serving this so many years. If you need to have extra play, I get it. And have you heard people having about those kind of conversations?
I think they say it, but they don't mean it.
Okay.
Like you say it, and then, when you're free, you use that against me,
Yeah.
So okay. I think they really mean that,
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, if you're not getting in there, I don't know, because a lot of people say that they wait, so I don't know.
They just wait.
Yeah.
I think personally that would be really hard for 17 years to expect your partner to wait. And I don't know, I know that we actually have one of our largest listening populations is actually a prison in Delaware. We got a lot of listeners that listen to the radio show. And so if you're listening, guys, because it's a men's prison, I know y'all going to send me some emails. I always get emails every week from you guys. So I'm asking our listeners out there that are incarcerated, do you expect your woman not only hold it down for the family, but also hold it down for her sexual desires? And is that fair to her? I mean, you're asking her to do time with you. And I've heard that a lot. And is it fair for the wife or the partner to do time like that for their partner?
I don't think so.
You don't think it's fair?
Because like I told you before, like I had to leave a few times.
Right, yeah.
Like it wasn't working out. Like
Yeah.
I knew that this could be, you know. Then you get a little older and things kind of like slow up a little bit. So you're like, okay, you know, 90 days. That'll work.
You can do it.
That'll work. Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Now, are you finding, and this might be a silly question, you know, because some people like, I'll talk about myself for a second. I'm okay. I don't like to be smothered. So I like a little bit of Doc Val time. Like, okay, go away for a couple of weeks, not 90 days, but go away. Are you finding sometimes that this brings you close because you're not always up under him, you're not smothered by him? Do you like your freedom?
I like my freedom.
There you go.
Yeah. So it kind of works, you know. But then I'm like, okay, so when he gets home, is he gonna smother me? You know, I've been so free to do, you know,
Well,
me,
yeah,
you
right.
know. So that's another thing that I worry about too. Like, but then you have certain situations where you can't find him once he's home, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by that? What do you mean you can't find him once he's home? What do you
They're out and living life without you after you put your life on hold for them, thinking that it's going to be this relationship, and they get home and the eye catches something else, you know?
Yeah.
You're only, you know, if you're dealing with somebody that you're used to and that's been there for you, that's easy. But when you get into the real world and you see other things, you might think, oh, that's better, you know? What's been holding you down this whole time?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So is that something that you worry about when he gets home? Like, how's it going to be?
Feel like I mean, I'm all that too. So, you know, if
You are all that.
feel like
Stunning, by the way.
go somewhere else, then let's try it. But nobody's gonna hold it down like I have for you.
Right.
So you know, so if you want to figure that out, then I mean, you got a few chances to mess up,
Okay.
because no, I don't believe that no man is perfect. You know,
Right, of course.
I'm not gonna be like, oh, he's gonna be perfect. But if it's too much for me, then I'll have to part ways with that situation.
That's good. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, does he also ask you to hold him down financially as well? Do you? Okay, go ahead.
Well, he has me and family.
Okay.
So, you know, if I can't, then he'll have someone in the family help him, you know?
Okay, so that is a part of responsibility that
Yeah.
you also have to manage. You're outside, like taking care of your child, your grandchild, and then at times you've got to help him on the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of ways to make money in prison.
So let's talk about the ways they make money in prison, because like we're going to pretend like most of this listening audience doesn't know anything. How do you make money in prison? It seems foreign to me.
You sell food, you make cards, you fix stuff. Like, these men are very smart in prison. Like, they fix TVs, or, you know, you just you cut hair, you know?
So
There's ways.
So
There's other ways.
and there's other ways.
Yeah.
Other ways that aren't so legal.
Yeah.
So can I ask? You don't have to answer it. Like, what ways, and have you heard where they make money illegally? I'm just curious. We want to know all the juice.
Well, they could tobacco or something like that, you know, something like that. It's going for a high price.
Okay.
You know, it's not like the regular amount that you would pay on the street.
Right.
Probably triple the amount.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you're going to pay triple the amount.
Yeah.
Okay. Now what about prostitutes coming in there? For those men that don't have relationships, is that something that you've heard that runs through the prison system? Is they'll bring in prostitutes, some guy or girl will start running rackets like that?
No, you really like meet this person on a website, and then it becomes like your man. So it's not prostitutes. They're coming in as, oh, this is my man, and you could have gotten hooked up by somebody else. So say like my man hooked somebody up with somebody in his cell or something. You know, it's pretty much hookup. It's not. I don't think it's prostitute. No.
So you think it's a hookup sex where they're meeting someone online?
Yeah.
And did I hear you say there's a website?
Yeah.
What kind of website?
Like Plenty of Fish.
Plenty of Fish. Is that a prison website?
I think it's a prison.
No,
It is not. That I happen to know. No, Plenty of Fish is just a regular dating site, but it's funny because I think I've heard people mention that you can find people, like there's people in there that's in prison.
They have some of the best looking men. You'd be surprised. I don't know if the water in there, they're aging backwards or what's going on there. But those guys, girl, you'd be like, well, what is going on here? Oh, nice.
Well, I would assume they don't have a whole lot of, they have plenty of time to work out. So I think that's definitely a part of it.
I think so as well. They've got plenty of time on their hands, right? Yeah. So give me an example of a couple of crazy stories that you've heard, about relationships and being a prison wife. I know you said we haven't even really gotten into it. And you know what, guys? I know that you're listening and we've just barely scratched the surface because I want to give you guys a background, like a visual background for those that really don't know about that life. But we've already said we're going to do a part 2. And we're like really go into the dirt, and I don't want to say dirt, but really go into the lifestyle. Because I guess it's a lifestyle.
It is.
It's a lifestyle.
It's definitely a lifestyle.
Yeah. And it's not for everyone, right? So make sure that you follow us on Brown Sugar Confessions on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all those places. Make sure that you send us emails at brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. So we have a few more minutes. So tell me a story about like a crazy incident that you're aware of that happened since you've been a PW, which stands for prison wife.
Crazy like what though?
Oh, like a story where it's just like, this sounds so outlandish that it could only happen in prison. I don't know. Pick a story, a true life event that you know of, or do you know of any?
I don't know of any. I just know a lot of women who have husbands that are in prison or have dated men that are in prison.
And do you think there's a certain, and this might be a harsh question, is there and it's not a stereotype, but I've heard that some women actually prefer men that are in prison versus, because you met him when he was in and out of the system. And so you didn't have a preference for guys that were in the system. No. Okay. But I hear that some women actually seek out men that are in the system.
Well, you'll definitely be in those visiting rooms and you're like, this couple doesn't match at all. Like, what is going on? What is going on here?
Okay.
So I feel like some women do like that, but this would have never been my thing.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Well, guys, you know what? I hate to say this to you. We've got to stop this show. And we haven't even really touched the surface of it because we said there's a lot of stuff. And you said you like doing this, right?
Yeah, I like it.
It's kind of like therapeutic to kind of get it all out.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. Yeah.
You didn't even really ask me the hard questions.
I didn't, yeah, because I'm building up to it because you know what? I wanted you to come back next week because the background's been set now and we're going to get more listeners, more questions, and we got the background part worked out. But now I really want to start asking you those deep, hard questions that we spoke of earlier that really are like, okay, now I get it. Because we've been just GP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally GP, totally. But we're going to get down and dirty next week. So here's what I want you guys to do. Get your girlfriend, get your guy friend, get anyone that you can. Get them on next week's show. We are going to go live next week. So you make sure you do not want to mix next Thursday's show at brownsugarconfessions@gmail.com. Make sure that you guys know to always stay safe and play safe. And understand this as we sign off. This isn't about a degrading conversation, an embarrassing conversation. This is really about a population of women that don't get to tell their stories because it is a lifestyle. And so we're going to do this in the right way to honor, respect them, to get their stories out. And you know how we do it the right way on Brown Sugar Confessions. Bye-bye, guys. See you next week. Bye-bye for now.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Brown Sugar Confessions on Power 1017. Go to our Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram page at Brown Sugar Confessions to like, share, and follow. Stay safe and play safe. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.